It's the Rule of Nerds!
And this is part 2 of our review of Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Okay, so you might be thinking, why do you have 2 reviews? Obviously, the first one, we were just too excited and we needed to put out something, tell you what we think without really spoiling anything for the ones who haven't seen it yet. Now, the second review, no holds barred. We will talk about spoilers, all of them, so fair warning.
This is your last chance, guys, if you haven't seen it yet. For the rest of the video, spoiler alert.
Here we go!
Alright, so here we go. To be fair, the movie actually started out a little slow. That's fine with me. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I was just a little bit worried that it might be a little slow, the pace, the exposition, for new fans. And the fact that I was able to think it means I had time to think, which means it was a little slow. But by halfway, the pace started picking up, all the characters started becoming interesting, and by the final act, the explosive, the fantastic, the iconic final act, you forgive whatever flaws the movie might have. I've read, a lot of reviewers and even comments criticizing this plot point and this character and that character, but for me, that ending forgives everything, and that ending makes you go, this is an incredible movie.
I have to agree. The third act is where it really hits its stride. That's where it delivers on the billing that it's not just a Star Wars movie, but it's a war movie that just happens to be set in the Star Wars universe. But don't get me wrong, it's a great entry into the Star Wars canon, especially with that great ending and how it ties in together with the original trilogy.
And speaking of that iconic ending, I mean, can it end better than that? But the thing is, we should have known. It could not have ended any other way. Had the team survived, okay, before I continue, suffice it to say, everybody dies. It's as simple as that. Now, it couldn't have ended any other way. Had the team survived, had even one member survived, continuity would be shot, because somehow, if there was any survivor, there would be some sort of trace, some descendant, some vestige, and there would be some sign that they were there in episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7. But since those episodes were already done and we didn't hear from any of them, it means it makes perfect sense. We should have known at the very start of the movie that nobody will survive this movie.
But don't feel too bad for them. They all get some great moments before they bite it. And, the loss of these characters really opens up some space for some of the characters in the original trilogy to shine. And speaking of the original trilogy, how great were the cameos in this one? You've got Darth Vader, you've got the 2 droids, you've got Princess Leia in that amazing ending, amazing CGI work they did there. For the more hardcore fans out there, you get Grand Moff Tarkin, Bail Organa, Mon Mothma, Amon Calamari, Admiral who isn't Admiral Akbar, and I'm pretty sure I saw Ponda Baba, the guy whose arm Obi-Wan cuts in episode 4. I'm pretty sure I saw him somewhere in there earlier in the movie. So there is a lot to like in here.
And speaking of those 2 characters that you just mentioned, what can you say about those CGI Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia? I mean, they've done CGI before in an all-CGI movie, but to actually mix real people with CGI people, it's just short of amazing. And you know what? They should just give them the special effects Oscar as early as now for those 2 characters alone. And speaking of characters, I just have to make special mention of Donnie Yen's character. I just think he is the Darth Maul of this movie. When I say Darth Maul, not because he's a villain, but more of he is that standout character who becomes iconic in the span of one movie.
So Rogue One absolutely does its job as a standalone spin-off. Over the course of just one movie, they are able to tell a compelling story, open and shut, no need for further sequels, but it does create a lot of promise for the future standalone movies in the Star Wars universe.
As a standalone or as part of the Star Wars saga, this movie really works. Whoever had the idea to make this movie is brilliant. To segue seamlessly from Rogue One to Episode 4 is nothing short of genius. The ultimate sacrifice of the team is what gives the rebellion exactly what the next episode is: A New Hope.
All right, so that's it. Now let us know, what was your favorite cameo in this movie? Who was your favorite character? You can comment, let us know what you think.
All right, so we hope you enjoyed our 2 reviews of Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. Please subscribe to our channel and follow us on our social media accounts, The Rule of Nerds, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can also follow our personal accounts. Mine is at Chico Garcia on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Mine is M_Volante on Twitter and JM_Volante on Instagram. Nerds out.
Here we go.
If you liked this nerdy video, subscribe to our nerdy YouTube channel. Also, you can follow our nerdy social media accounts, The Rule of Nerds, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.